Moving like Booker T. Cause Antony did one spin a Rooney like WEE. Some of the fan base rated that, but I gotta say I disagree. Cause Ten Hag subbed them halftime, so it looks like it was only me. What? Moving like Booker T. Cause Antony did one spin a Rooney like WEE. Some of the fan base rated that, but I gotta say I disagree. Cause Ten Hag subbed them halftime, so it looks like it was only me. What?
Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. This is your boy Firms and we're back again with another episode. This is the Europa League episode. Look, we just played Sheriff. We got the victory 3-0 and it was a comfortable victory. I must say, I wasn't worried. I wasn't threatened. We controlled a lot of that possession. I think at one point they mentioned that we had 85% possession. So it was light work. It was another day at the office and job done. But before we get into the nooks and cranny of it, NK, how you feeling, man?
Well, I'm good, man. I'm good. How's everyone doing?
All good, bro. All good.
I'm back now because last week you banned me from coming on the show. So I'm good.
Bruv, you was on a madness. I don't even know where you were, bro.
Hey, bro, we gave him the Ronaldo treatment. He had to go. He went allowed to the train
Exactly,
first.
man.
He's back.
You know the thing about NK, yeah, is like Antony came out today. He had that hair color that this guy was supposed to be rocking, and he's still avoiding it, bro. He's chilled. His hair is still there, bro.
Hey, my wife said no. I don't want to sleep on the couch, man.
Bro, tell her it's bigger than music, bro. Bigger than rap. Look, Edwin. What you saying?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm ready to discuss this game, boy. Break it down. Talk about what we saw, what we liked, what we didn't like, man. You get me? So, do you want to kick it off?
I'll kick it off. Do you know what? I'll start off with how I felt when I saw the lineup. I thought, okay, I was expecting Ronaldo to feature. I wasn't too sure whether he will start, but especially with the game during the weekend, I was just like, okay, he started and Ganacho started. Like, so I was a bit shocked at that because it's not like he's been, you know, sometimes when you make cameo appearances here or there. But I did say a couple of weeks ago that I preferred him more than Elanga, and I did say he should start playing more. Remember I said it? So
it was a breath of fresh air seeing his name on the team sheet, man. It was a breath of fresh air, man.
Yeah. And I think he done a great job. He showed that he's one of the players that will actually. I know they mentioned he cut in a couple of times, but he's very direct, and I like that. You know what I mean? But I think overall, was for what we had to play a strong team because we couldn't play the risk of not winning that game with more than 1 or 2 goals because of us trying to not get into the playoff situation. But I think it was a strong lineup. Yeah. What did you think about the lineup, NK, initially?
It was alright. To be honest, I expected that's how I expected it because obviously the manager has kind of like showed that he doesn't trust like Fred or McTominay to kind of like play in front of like Bruno or Eriksen. So of course these are the kind of games where when we talk about rotation and squad, you want to bring in those kind of like players inside to give them a rest, you know. But he played Bruno and Eriksen, and that's how he's been. As long as these two are fit, they don't really have like a competition. I expected Malaysia to play ahead of Luke Shaw because I feel like what they call with Malaysia, the manager want to give him game time too. The only thing that I wasn't sure was whether today Maguire was gonna start ahead of Martinez because Martinez needed a rest, and even Antony. I thought maybe Antony probably needed a rest too, but those guys kind of started. Ronaldo, I knew he was going to start because Rashford, the manager kind of like is cautious with him because he doesn't want to get him injured like Martial, because right now I feel like he needs him, you know. So I don't know. Garnacho was a bit of a surprise to me that he was starting. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting him to start, but he started and he done okay. You know, he done okay. If you ask me, did he do a lot to kind of like start going forward? I'll say no, but did he do a lot to kind of like get an occasional 10, 20 minutes? Here we go. Then you say yeah, but overall it was an okay performance. You know, it was a okay performance. He was direct, which was good too, but I think he's young, so he's going to make this kind of a mistake. As time goes on, he's probably going to know when to be direct, when not to be direct, like in terms of like decision making. But today, he played like an 18-year-old, you know, who you know, when they come on as young, they fearless. You know, they just want to take people and run at people. And today, that's what he was doing. And it's good to see a young player does that and not have that kind of like fear factor in them.
Yeah,
you know
I would say.
Go on.
No, I was gonna say with him, I'm not comparing them, but he kind of was reminiscent of like Ronaldo when he first came. You know, just like not the best end product, but very direct and skillful. So hopefully more game time and, like you say, decision making will improve him. But I think he gave a good like account for himself, you know, in terms of like him playing, because he wasn't always direct. He did pass in, he did track back and help out at times when the odd time he needed to. But yeah, I thought he'd done enough to actually like be given more chances now.
Like, I think it was a breath of fresh air. Look, like Garnacho, we've got two similar type of wingers, Antony and Sancho, in a sense where these are guys that don't like to run to the byline and whipping across too often. They like to play that passing. They like to stop the ball, cut in, and maybe like Antony will go in for a shot here and there, and he's got, you know, the odd goal here and there from that. But these men will get the ball, hold it up, then pass it in instead of running to the byline and whipping it across. And what I saw Garnacho at times is run to that byline and whipping the ball. Yeah, the final ball wasn't the greatest at time, but when he was taking on guys, it got people off this. I like that traditional type of look. The winger that I'm used to is Ryan Giggs. You understand? Obviously, David Beckham. Sorry, he can put in, he can float the crosses, whatever like that. He will float it from deep. He'll float it from the byline. But Giggs is the one that made people step up, like stand up. Do you understand? Ronaldo as well when he was playing out wide. This is what I want to see. And quite frankly, we've got these technical guys, but not guys that are like direct. I keep saying like I want guys that just run at guys, and these guys have got the ability to do it. Do you understand? But it's almost like it's lazy, and they want to, instead of taking the onus on themselves at times to just create that opportunity, they want to pass their way through, and it leads to nothing. Look, we was up against Tiraspol, yeah, Sheriff, a team that had 10 men behind the ball for a lot of the game, especially in the first half. It was banks of yellow shirts. Look, it was stress at times. I saw in the first half us taking long shots. I see Eriksen take long shots. I see Bruno taking long shots because they were getting frustrated. They couldn't break this team down. But on the contrary, what I would say is that this game, I'm looking at it differently. The reason why I'm looking at it differently, and I feel like we did do well, is because we walked away with 3 goals against a low block team. Against a team that didn't come to play. Look, I'm going to read you some stats. Manchester United had 65% of the ball possession overall, right? We had 24 goal attempts as opposed to Sheriff's none. They had no shots on goal. We had 10. They had no shots off goal.
Shot on goal, man.
Sir, say that again?
I said they had a shot on goal. I saw them make a shot to the game, unless that was offside, but I saw them make a shot.
There's no, I'm on the app. There's no.
I don't think so, because you remember the 2 chances they had was a cross, and then the player missed the header, and there was another one that the cross didn't go through.
Let me see. I don't know if it was
yeah, I don't know, but I swear I saw them make a shot. I don't know, man, but I swear someone make a shot and the gear saved it. Unless
this isn't accurately recording the stats, but I've got like. I don't
know, but I remember one of the guys done the shot and the gear save, and the commentator was even said that was their first shot, but I don't know whether it was ruled off for offside or not, because now you know normally when it happens, but
if it's offside, do they count that? If it's offside,
they don't count that.
I'm not gonna. I'm looking at the match stats on Sky Sports, right?
Yeah,
and it says 74.7% possession, us 24 total shots, them 0.
That's what I mean. So the stats is obviously off on this app, innit? Because I was using flash scores, but you know, Sky
they definitely didn't have a shot. It might have been an offside thing.
Look, this team didn't come to play, bro. And the thing about Manchester United, what we've always talked about in the past is, yeah, we can go out and do this counter attack against the big teams. How do we do against the smaller teams? This is a team that came to say, do you know what? You're going to have to break us down. And Manchester United walked out of that game with 3 goals. Now, I can't be mad at that. I can't be angry at that. And yeah, we wanted to see a more exciting and more entertaining game. But at the end of the day, it's shown progressing that we're walking away from that game scoring 3 goals. You're not your wonder goal brace from a random player, your star man. It was 3 goals. Do you understand?
Or winning goal like McTominay in our last one, you remember?
Exactly. This is sustainable football where you're seeing You know what I mean? Obviously, there was times where we could have, you know, rotated that ball quicker. I feel like at times in the transition, we slowed the pace down a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like slowed it down, and these men were able to get back into their shape. Made our life a bit difficult. If we played quicker, maybe we could have got opportunity earlier, and you know what I mean, and got away with, you know, a few more goals. Who knows? But what was your thoughts on the way we played? NK, do you feel like, again, I know you talked on it, you said it was an all right performance, but considering it was up against a low block team, would you still say it was just still okay, or do you say, you know, it's Tiraspol, like it's light work, like you expect it?
Yeah, you know what? We can talk about it being a low block or you want, but they're a low quality team. You know, and I don't know. This is not a team where we have to kind of like struggle to kind of like beat. You know, these are teams where when you play within the first 30 minutes, the game is done. You know, and it's just game management. But to me, the first half was poor. You know, the first half was poor, and I've been very critical of our creative center forward. You know, and even at times too, our wingers too. When today the intensity was very slow. You know, it was very slow. They were moving the ball slowly. It felt like a testimonial match. You know, and that's the thing about these Man United players. When it's a big game, the intensity go up, and then it kind of like drop down. So I don't know what it is. Maybe because they see the opponent today, they came there thinking like, okay, you know what, we're gonna see a bit of like energy, and just it was very slow for me. And so it took them like the second half for us to kind of like see a bit of like intensity from the team. And obviously the manager had to kind of like do some changes at halftime. I think Rashford coming in to kind of like play through the middle, kind of like brought a bit of like energy and intensity like into the team too. So I don't know what it is, man, but something feel off about this in where 1 week we are very high, kind of like playing intensive football, and then the next following week it just kind of like drop out. I just can't put my hands in it, like what exactly it is, man, but something just fell off for me with this team. I just don't know what it is just yet.
Look, I feel like it's the teething problem, isn't it? I feel like as time goes on, I feel like we're developing. Do you know what I mean? I feel like as time goes on, we're gonna see hope when we bring in the right players as well, because this is the beginning stages of the rebuild. I feel like things will get a lot more smooth. Edwin, what's your thoughts on Cristiano Ronaldo? Ronaldo got his goal today. He could have got a brace, but he missed clear cut opportunities, man. And it was. Go on.
Do you know what it is with that clear cut one? I watched it again. That defender got a foot to the ball. He didn't touch it. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but Ronaldo, like a younger, obviously he's old. He's 37, right? He ain't what he used to be. Obviously, when we think about Ronaldo, we think about what he used to be. And what he used to be, he would have got to that ball and put it in the net. Like he would have had that ejection of pace. But it's not that guy no more.
I've seen Ronaldo miss open goals and sitters for Real Madrid, even in his form. But you know what it is, with Ronaldo, yeah? It just shows he's a true professional. Look, he's 37. He's at the end of his career. There's a lot of criticism around him. Obviously, his attitude and behavior recently has not been good.
Do you forgive him?
Like, it's not even about forgiving. Ronaldo's a legend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's nothing to forgive, because it's like, okay, he done that, but it's like, at the same time, Man United need to take responsibility. You kept a guy that didn't want to stay at your team. You forced him to stay. You know what I mean? So, and the way you've treated him, if you're going to make him stay, play him how you're supposed to be playing him. You know what I mean? But obviously, it doesn't excuse his behavior. But I feel like, I think he done well. Look, he's not been... like, remember I said last video, for Ronaldo to be effective, even at his age, he needs to play more regularly. You know what I mean? As much as he's got all the talent, you can see he's still a bit off it a little bit. But even his goal, at least he showed some sharpness. You know, he headed it. He was quick to react, to score, you know?
Can he play like every game? It looks like he needs a run of games, but can he play? Because how Real Madrid used him, they, like Zidane, they kept him, you know, wrapped in bubble wrap for Champions League.
Fair enough, he may not be the player he is, but one thing we will never take, Ronaldo is super fit. Super fit. Because he played the whole game, and he scored on, like, the later on in the game. He didn't look tired.
He missed the last game too. He didn't play the last game, so he's been rested.
And it's true, but I feel like he's the type of player that could play the games. I'd rather you start him. I don't know if he's effective coming off the bench.
To me, it's simple. It's simple, friends. It's not even about whether the energy thing. That thing that he does where he want to get involved in the build-up, dropping the... I don't get it. You know, I don't get it. You don't have the legs no more. You don't have the energy to be moving around on the pitch no more. All you have to do is... today, his goal. Sitting in the box, let him put it in a cross inside or work the ball for you, and you get this kind of like goal. So this thing where he drop in, trying to play around two, and then just try to be at the end of it, I do not understand it.
But he can't do no wrong, because I still hear fans saying, I mean, he can't do no right, because I still hear fans saying, oh, he's not that striker that gets, he don't get involved in the play enough, he don't do the link up thing, he don't do this, he don't do that.
But then
when he does it, people are upset.
No, but then it's not.
When he's not doing it, he's not participating more, and we're carrying.
That's why if you
like, what do you want?
No.
You remember Ten Hag's thing, right? He did mention bringing on Rashford to play behind him. So I think like what NK is saying is right. If you tell Ronaldo to stay up, play Rashford behind him, let him do all the legwork. Because all this running around is not good for him.
Because the thing is, when he dropped there, and I watched, I think the interview, I'm not sure if it's against Chelsea, after the Chelsea game, they were interviewing Bruno, and then they asked him like, oh, what do you call it? How is it for him to kind of like play? Because now we play with like two intimate wingers who normally kind of like to kind of like cut in and come into his space. So how does he normally kind of like find space? So you go at number 10 where his space is being occupied a lot. And then the last thing you need is for your striker to end up kind of like doing that too. So it's like, and this is why we struggle to break down the low block teams, you know. Yes, you can do all this kind of a thing, but to me, we don't have enough players in the box. At times today, when Garnacho got the ball and beat one or two man, and he was there was hardly anybody for him to cross the ball to. Pre-season, one of the things that you were praising was the fact that we had so many players in the box. All of a sudden, that seems to be dropping down. We seem to have less players in the box.
I don't get that, because when I look at the way we're playing, like how we're shaped when we're on the ball, you see Lindelof, you see Martinez like way past the halfway line. You see our wingers wide. You see them. You see like at least 6 man there, but it's almost like, yeah, you're right. They're not making those runs into the box at times. What you're seeing is them standing outside wanting to do the cute passes. I saw Ronaldo make a few runs. No one found him. No one looked for him. Look, we had Eriksen and Casemiro in that middle. Really good passes of the ball. Nobody feels. I don't feel like at times it is Eriksen will do that over the head pass, or Bruno is. But there's a lot of times where we're not catching that run. They're not aware all the time. And that's the thing. They'll rather play it safe at times.
I already told you what I feel about those two guys, man. But I'm not gonna get into that Bruno and Eriksen, man. Being both of them, man.
I think Bruno had a poor game today.
No, the thing is, don't go on Twitter and say that. They're gonna come after you, man.
I don't care about you. Respectfully, I don't care about them.
No, but then the thing is, see, and this is a thing that our two crazy players from the center of the midfield, and you know what, even Eriksen will be true. It's like their timing is so off. The balls in which, when the player make a good run, that they have to play that kind of a ball, yeah, they seem not to play that. But then when they don't make the good run, that's when they want to play them through, and
it's more difficult.
It's just that decision making, man. Yeah, it's just that decision making. It just, I don't know. They just need to start getting it right with that kind of like final kind of like balls, you know. Just learn their movement and give them the right balls. All these things, it just, to me, I'm starting to get frustrated with that, man. Because today, Eriksen, occasionally he will do the ball, but then when players actually make the good run where he has to give the ball don't go, you know. So I think for the strikers, it might be frustrating for them because they don't know when to kind of like make the move. But I think one thing you can say about the strikers is, you know what, just keep on making the runs all the time. Eventually, one good pass is going to come back. I think they get frustrated too when it happens.
So wait, do you think Bruno had a good game?
To me personally, I think he was shocking. I think first half he was shocking. Second half, when he went on to the right hand side, that's when he kind of like saw a bit more of the ball, and his crossing became kind of like decent, you know. I've always said it. In the long run, that might be the position where he probably will find his best kind of like form in there, because as the 10, he's doing okay, but okay is not good enough. You know, you want proper movement, proper link up play, and then the goals and assists, like, you know, the link-up play. To me, when he plays as a 10, yes, he work hard, but I don't see that kind of like the 10 that kind of like is a glue to the team, you know, where they are making that kind of like link-up play and bringing their wingers into the game. I don't see that yet from him as a 10. Today, when he went on the right, he was very comfortable, and even against Chelsea, when he went on the right too, he was very, I think the right or left, either one of them, he was very kind of like comfortable over there instead of like doing that kind of like cross that he want to do. But with the way our wingers are playing, Sancho and both Antony, they just be kind of like on and off. I would say the problem is who, if you take Bruno off, who's going to come there? Obviously,
well, I've been saying Sancho. I've been saying Sancho should get a little cameo there. But the manager don't want
to play him there. The manager didn't even play Sancho on the right. He didn't even play Sancho on the right.
I think he deserves to just see it, because Sancho's a guy that can cut to the left, cut to the right. He's really good with both feet. I feel like he can spin on a pivot quickly. I feel like he'll be really good as a number 10.
I said give Donny a chance in that 10 role, man.
Donny had a good cameo. I must say, he had a good cameo, man.
But before we move on, just quickly wrap it up. What did you think about Ronaldo's performance or his comeback today? Do you think he should be given more of a run, or do you think he should be used how he's being used?
I'll keep it simple. Against West Ham, put him on the bench. Case closed.
I don't know, man. I don't know what this is about. I don't know what it is about this whole thing about this obsession with like playing Rashford or whatever like this, because he's got the mobility. Because for me, it's like I've seen enough of this Manchester United team with and without Ronaldo, and it's not light and day. Do you understand? It's not light and day to me. I feel like Man United's getting into a position where we can play good football with Ronaldo still on the pitch. Before, we couldn't do that. Before, it looked like we was carrying Ronaldo. Before, we looked like we lost a man. I feel like now we're in a position where Ronaldo can play and we'll still dominate possession like we did. We'll still look attacking. Like, we create a lot of chances, even with Fred being on the pitch. And people say he loses the ball. A lot of people say that he hasn't got that creativity. I feel like Man United's getting to a baseline where we can afford to bring in these players that and play Ronaldo. And I'm not seeing like, oh, unless Martial's fit, I'm not like thinking, oh, Rashford needs to start in the middle. Look, Rashford can play out wide and drift in the middle and still get his goals. You understand? I don't see why we should be like, oh, let's play Rashford continuously up top and then play someone like Sancho, who's not in form, or even Garnacho. He had a good cameo, but I don't want us to start throwing this guy into the lines then because he done a good cameo. We need to manage these guys as well at the same time. Phase him in, give him a few minutes here and there, bring him out. Bring him in again, bring him out. And I feel at the minute
so
now...
You start Ronaldo against West Ham?
Bro, I would start... See, for me, and I know a lot of people won't agree with this in a fan base, but I do feel like he's our most natural finisher. I know he's old. I know he's slow. I know he's weak at times. I know all of this thing. But for me, this guy keeps getting put in, playing a small cameo, taken off, put in, taken off. Just leave him alone. Let him go through his drought, go through his rustiness. If he has like 4 or 5 games back to back and I'm like, you know what, yeah, if he can survive playing 4 or 5 games back to back, that is, and I'm seeing the same stuff. I'm just like,
well, did that just hear you right? Like, leave him on, let him have the goal drag in front of goal.
Look, who is Rashford? He's got more goals than Rashford right about now.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, who is it? In the last 6 games? Sorry, in the last 6 games. You know when you start amending the stats to favour you. Look, in the last 6 stats, games,
he scored against Everton in the Premier League. Who else has he scored against in the Prem?
Look, I showed you that thing in it. He's got more goals than these man in the last 6 games. Showing, meaning that probably even these forwards are not really doing too much.
Yeah, but then the finish.
And that's my point. It's just like when people are so desperate for Ronaldo not to start, in like, who is the alternative?
But then the finish, you looking at it this way. Look, if you go 2 strikers that are both not going to be scoring goals, where Rashford is not clinical, Ronaldo is not clinical, my question is, who will offer you more if they're not getting goals? And the answer is Rashford.
No, I feel like Rashford
so that's where it comes down to.
No, but remember my statement. Rashford will offer you more. He's got the physicality. He's got the speed. He can, run off the channels, all of that stuff, cut in, do all of that dribble. He's good. Don't get me wrong. But there's a time and a place where you need to be playing Ronaldo. There's a time and place you need to be playing Rashford. I'm not saying that Rashford should be holding bench. Far from it. Rashford should be starting. And I'll start Rashford on the left. And Rashford, the way how we play with a fluidity, Rashford will be cutting in a lot of the times, even when Ronaldo steps back. And my thing is this, like, we're looking at whole Ronaldo holding bench for who? For Rashford to be playing centre forward? No, it's not. It's like, for me, he's still going to be on a pitch. Just play out on the left, your favoured position. Get someone that knows how to put the ball in the net. And Ronaldo hasn't been doing it of recent, yes. But what I feel is that Ronaldo, they have no preseason. His season didn't start off well. I feel like just let him live, because we're not sacrificing too much. Man United at the minute is not sacrificing too much. We can't score goals. So it's not even like to say, oh, we can't risk it. What are we risking?
We're not
risking anything.
I'll say this. This season we've looked better with Rashford playing up front than we have with Ronaldo playing up front. You cannot tell me what game Ronaldo started up front that we were better than the one that Rashford has started.
He's not effective enough. Though.
He's not. We're talking about. I mean, we're talking about both players missing chance, and I said, okay, then that's fine. But without the chances missing, who offers more? Who is gonna? You got a team that literally, your two creative guys hardly play the balls in behind. So the question is, over 90 minutes, who's going to make more runs in behind for occasionally being found one? And it comes down to Rashford, you know?
I feel like Rashford will still be making the runs in behind. Remember, this is not a conversation of Rashford or Ronaldo for me. This is a conversation of putting the runners around Ronaldo, let them do the graft and let Ronaldo be that guy to be at the end of that pass or whatever it is. That's my thing. It's not on him versus him. I feel like they should be both playing together, because as far as I'm concerned, if you're playing Rashford up top, he's not putting in that. We're not utilizing him. You know that last game, who was it against? Was it Newcastle or something? Or was it? I can't remember. Where we was just dying for
Chelsea.
Was it Chelsea where we was dying for a forward? We was dying for someone to come on. We ended up bringing on Elanga. We ended up bringing on Scott McTominay, and all we really needed to do is shift Rashford to the left, in my opinion, yeah, and then bring on a forward. And Ronaldo, obviously, he walked off. So outside of I might get my thingy. Ronaldo wasn't available. Let me put it like that. Ronaldo wasn't available, and he wasn't there to play up forward, up top. And then who we're going with? Do you understand? Like these Ronaldo was Rashford was there playing centre forward. This guy was not breaking down. He wasn't.
Yeah, but then that's what I'm saying.
And people say he offers more. He offers more. At the end of the day, you need to put the ball in the net.
Off the bench, then I get that. But telling me like, oh, he should be starting. But then you have the same problem if you start Rashford and Ronaldo in the same lineup, and then we're not scoring goals. Then what do you do?
Then that's where you start looking at making your subs, because I feel like you said, if we got this squad where we can start rotating these guys. Look, Shaw wasn't looking good at one point. Now he's looking good. Do you understand?
No, he's looking okay.
He's looking okay then. Like,
no, he's looking okay. He's not looking good. He's looking okay. Don't
look,
be big in this place.
I agree. Look, I agree with you. Look, Garnacho now is come on. He's had his little cameo. You know what I mean? He's looking okay. Look, we need to start being confident enough to bring these players off where they're not doing well and bring them on. Just because they're not performing well doesn't mean they're going to be dead for the rest of the season. Let them feel what it means to have competition. Let them feel what it means like not to be a guaranteed start. When they come back on the pitch, there's a slight chance that they'll perform better. And that's all we're hoping for. Like, we need to be utilizing our players. And at the end of the day, we haven't been doing that under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. With Erik ten Hag, he's actually doing it. Like, the way he yanked off Antony, the way he's yanked off Sancho, the way he's yanked off Ronaldo.
Antony got rested, man. Game rested for West Ham.
Oh,
why
please.
Okay, let me ask you. Look, what do you mean? Martinez got to
actually, I never heard the interview. He might have, because
Edwin in the interview he said, because I feel like this is a good segue into the next thing. I think the reaction for his skill is just ridiculous. Like, people are just too extra, man. People complaining that, oh, it's not good football. I heard Scholes and Hargreaves complaining. Scholes was saying that it's stupid behavior. It's not skillful. Like,
kick it out of his game.
When people forget, this guy was doing this skill at Ajax, and
you know what?
And this man just went to go spend 100 million for him. So
that looked dead. That's been a Rooney Booker thing.
I said this to Firma, right? He's done it so many times at Ajax,
right? And this man just went to go spend 100 million.
If no one clocks. He done it in the Premiership about 2 games ago. He done it. He just done it once, so no one really complained. It's just that he done it twice.
Look, Ronaldo at Sporting Lisbon was doing all of these silly tricks. It doesn't mean that Sir Alex Ferguson liked it. Do you understand? Like, yeah, we know that he's got that. What we're looking at.
But we bought him for that, because once we played him and he destroyed all the players, they were like, sign him.
Yeah,
let's be honest. Look, you don't want to kill the kind of like the skillful stuff
When
from
you
the
see
game.
it, look, okay, let me make a quick one. When you see a gash, dressed as like I see a thing dressed all mad, you're like, you're like, look, you're like, oh, like, yeah, that looks nice. Then you wife through this thing, and then you're just like, I don't like it. I don't like you dressing up like that no more. Look, these men are fascinated when they see.
But you liked it. No. Let's all grown up now.
I know.
You liked it like that.
I know.
So at the end of the day, is what AK said. I agree with AK.
Look, they looked at Antony's skills.
You saw the package.
You
do 100 million. You saw what the package was. I agree with NK. I'm on your side for about
that.
Like,
NK, but NK agrees.
No, look, it's not to be honest with you. Yeah, look, I think it's not about the skill. It's just like
NK.
when the game is a 0-0, when the game is 0-0, you don't want to be seen that when it's 0-0. I think that's more. It's about the timing, not about the skill, man. If Man United are winning 2-3-0 and he's doing that,
no, but even Hargreaves and scores, they were complaining saying that we don't want to see that, even if it's 4-0. I'm like, you guys,
yeah, but well, you know what? I feel sorry for you, man. I have to watch BT Sports and stuff. We watch good TV out here, man. We watch good TV out here.
Look, when Nani was doing this,
it
just felt different. I feel like Antony was just, for me, like.
What did you think about it, Firma?
There's skills of intent.
I don't know what he thought about it.
Do the skills where and when it makes sense. If you pull it off, great. But for me, looking at him, looking at him just do a spinneroonie, unchallenged, no stress, nobody trying to win that ball off him, just look dumb. To me personally, I just thought like that was just. It may have been a challenging skill to do, but it's just like
didn't you see the narrative? Oh, he got yanked off because of the trick.
In my opinion, it was coincidental. He was the only guy what got yanked off after he done that skill. Look at the
Martinez got yanked off at halftime.
You look at the video footage of Eric Ten Hag.
Did he get yanked off straight away?
Look, but okay, why did Eric Ten Hag, like, you saw the video, the post after, didn't you see it? How he reacted? He was just like, all of a sudden,
but the thing is, did you hear his interview? His interview said that he took him. It was the plan to take him over.
But how do we know it's not protecting? How do we know it's not protecting?
What did you think about the skill?
Huh?
What did you think about it?
I told you, look,
Book it to E, bruv.
I don't mind the skills. It's just the time. You know, when the game is 0-0 and we are trying to win a game and we haven't scored, it's not the time and place to be trying to like do that to kind of like entertain the fans, because the fans are there for the goals, you know.
I would have closed that.
3-4-0 and he's doing that, then that's okay. But
if I was Casemiro,
when it's 0-0.
If I was Casemiro, I would have went right up to man and sweet chinned him, bruv. No stress, bruv.
But then what are you talking about? What do you call it? Brazil, yeah? I don't know what player that was doing a skill, and then someone was complaining about that. And then Neymar told them, like, you know what? Let them express themselves. Let them express themselves. Let them do that. Skills are part of the game, man. You don't think you're going to kill it just because them British England guys cannot do them skills, yeah? Skills and them lots are talking.
I feel like Man United is a time and a place in this game. Like you said, it was 0-0. I feel like Manchester United, I feel like Antony in particular was getting a bit carried away with himself. I feel like it was a sign of a bit more immaturity, as little as it seems. I feel like there's a bit of immaturity at the stage of the game. I feel like there's always a time and a place. No one's saying don't do skills. Like, we all like to say ole, ole, ole. But just to know, yeah, if that guy kept on doing that and we left losing, conceding that game, got conceding a goal, we lost that game, for example, people be looking at that totally different. We walked away with 3 goals, clean sheet.
We were talking about lack of intensity and the ball being moved slow. What he done made the ball get moved slowly. You know, you want to be moving the ball kind of like fast and everything. But you know what? Next time when we need 2-3, he can do the skill all day.
Nobody was challenging him. Why are you doing it if nobody's challenging you?
That's what gets to me. Next topic, man. Let's talk about Ronaldo. Not talk about Antony, man.
Okay.
Your man in the match.
We'll just finish on this, yeah? I personally think it was overreacted, but like you say, NK said, all about timing. But let's move on to like Van der Beek.
Maguire was back.
Obviously, now he's back. Yeah. So I'll let you start, NK, because I know you're a fan of Donny. So what did you think about his cameo appearance?
Oh, you know what? It just, one thing I like about Donny today when he came was that there was 2 things that I kind of like spotted straight away. There was a time where Rashford got the ball. Straight away, he pointed him exactly where he wanted the ball. Obviously, Rashford mishit the ball, but if Rashford gave him kind of like a good pass, because that's one thing I like about him, his movement, you know, his movement and how he kind of like, what's the right English word I'm trying to do? How he kind of like tried to kind of like, I and let other players kind of like where he points exactly where he want the ball to kind of like create spaces for other people. He's not going to let you play the ball that you think it might be right. He points it there like, look, this is the best place. Point it there. He done it with Rashford. They kind of like come on to. I saw him make a lot of like movement. He should have scored that goal that I think Bruno kind of like posted for him. He should have scored that, but he just come back from injury. But if we can have him fit, and in games where we are struggling to kind of like get goals, you know, we talk about making in behind run. Today he came in and then he made 2 in behind run. So when the games that we are struggling to kind of like get the goals, I think he's a good option to bring on to kind of like make some of that in behind run for like some of the wingers or even Bruno or any player to try to kind of like do those kind of like balls, man. But it was that with Maguire. Look, it's a game where we had the ball in it. He had much of the ball. He done the distributing. He didn't get tested. Should he start against West Ham? I'll probably say no. We go with Martinez and Lindelof, even though I'm worried about set pieces because West Ham are going to target us with a height. Varane was very key to like dealing with that. He's not there. I'm very conflicted whether to play start him or McTominay, but I'll go with Martinez and Lindelof and probably like, I don't know, just do that. He hasn't done a lot of stuff for me just yet.
Yeah, I think just on that point, I think not even to get into it, like he didn't do anything wrong, but I can see where we want to be very progressive. Maguire slows the ball down too much at the back. Like if you watch him, yeah, like at least with
agenda.
Lindelof and Lindelof and watch Martinez. You know how quick they are releasing the ball,
Edwin missing that word. Maguire slow the ball down.
Do you know what it is?
I thought all our subs had good cameos.
I'm not trying to be too critical. I'm just thinking about when we play better teams and you know they're closing us down. I think he spends too much time on the ball. If he gets the ball, looks up and passes it, I think he takes too many touches, and it just leaves him open. Because with Maguire, we know he'll make mistakes, and I think as a player, you need to know your faults and to like reduce them. So if you know you're not the best on the ball, you get closed down. Just learn. These are the games you start learning to play quicker because you got time. You know what I mean? Because when it comes against the bigger teams, he's gonna struggle. But like he done all right. Like obviously we need options now in the back because like Varane is not really gonna last out a season. So hopefully I don't think he will start, but at least we've got him as an option. And just on Donny quickly, I just think he picked up spaces that not a lot of other players picked up. Like in that small time, he was just finding little holes. I know like he had that chance where he played over and he could have crossed. He could have shot.
I've seen this before, bro. I've seen this before under Oli.
No, but the thing is, but you know what it is?
Consistency, bro.
Donny wasn't given a chance. Let's just hope for because I wouldn't even.
He played.
Really?
Bro, we loaned him out.
No, hold on, Edwin. No,
loaned him out.
You just sat here today campaigning for Ronaldo to get game, and you're gonna tell me what Donny Dan was playing. This guy,
you know what? No. On a real, yeah. I just want to see. I've seen Donny come on the pitch and do cameos like that before. That's what I've seen. And what I'm saying is like, I'm not necessarily gonna get carried away. I've seen him go on loan now. He didn't blow it away. And even when he had opportunities, even though it was reduced at Manchester United, where you're supposed to come on and
opportunities did he have?
No, that's what I'm saying. When it was rare, when it was few.
But listen to this. Remember when he came on the
scruff of the
neck? Last season, yeah. You remember he came
37.
On No. Wait, listen to this. Remember when he came on that Champions League game and he run riot? He literally had man of the match performance. Yeah. What did we do the next game? We benched him.
Yeah.
How do you expect someone to progress like that?
So he needs a run of games like Ronaldo as well, then.
Facts.
It's not.
Have the same energy.
It's not even.
Well, 37. We run out of time. You know, we run out of time.
It's not even a run of games, man. It's just the way in which we are playing now, where we talk about we're struggling to play low block. One thing about breaking down low block is them rushing behind, them movement, picking up kind of like them pocket spaces, and none of our midfielders can do that. Our strikers ain't even doing that. So you need something different, man. That's all you need. You need something different. And I think he offers something different.
Well, OT99 Banter Room. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Peace.
Donny van der Beek.